masters have now permeated the gridwork of the world, bringing with them their own tools for teaching. The tools that are being utilized on this planet are artifacts that are not of your dimension, symbolic forms that literally have a life of their own. They make up what is known as the language of light. Light informs you, it uplifts you, because once you are informed, you feel more powerful. When you are not informed, you feel powerless. Sound is another way to carry information because it is part of light. To you, it may seem that sound and light are two separate things because from your point of view, you perceive light with your eyes and sound with your ears. Because you use two separate areas of perception on your body, it seems that sound and light are separated as well. In actuality, they are very connected. They wind themselves around one another because they both carry information. Many of the structures built on this planet, particularly ancient sacred sites, have information stored within stone. In the same way, you have information stored within the bones of your skeletal form. When you allow sound to move through you, it unlocks a doorway and allows information to flood into your body. It also penetrates the ground, affecting the vibrations of Earth and allowing a rearrangement of a molecular alignment of information to take place. Those of you who use sound when you are working on others' bodies bring about a rearrangement of a molecular structure and create an opening for information to flood in. This kind of work will become more and more profound. In Tibet, when a master who was able to transcend realities passed over, the body was kept and allowed to move into its own natural deterioration because the skeletal form held a sensibility to frequencies. Information is stored in bone and stone. In some places in Tibet where the lines of continuity in sects of monks can be traced back for thousands and thousands of years, people have kept the skulls of different masters. They have very secret crypts and rooms filled with these skulls. When one walks into these places, one can, through sound, access the intelligence factors of the humans who once occupied those skulls. Do you understand why crystal skulls were designed? Crystalline structures are like holographic computers. They can transmit to the evolved or plugged-in human a tremendous amount of information. They are designed like skulls to act as a code for understanding your own skull and understanding that the bone in your body is very valuable. Sound is a tool for transformation. Keepers of frequency, which is what we are encouraging you to become, learn how to modulate the frequency they hold through sound. Sound can penetrate any substance, move molecules, and rearrange realities. In ancient Egypt, the Ankh, or symbol that represented life, in actuality was a frequency modulator. It was utilized by individuals who were masters of keeping frequencies and able to do many things with those frequencies. The Ankh is similar to a tuning fork and can direct sound. This is how it was used a long time ago. Before you will be able to experience using sound in the manner of the ancient Egyptians, you will have to demonstrate your integrity. You will have to pass an initiation or a testing to see whether you can be trusted with this kind of power. This planet is not ripe for this kind of energy simply to be trusted into anyone's hands. If you were capable of this kind of work at this time, your life would not be safe because there would be too many who would want to misuse your gift. You will be given abilities as you can best mature into them. You can begin to work with sound by allowing it to play your body. Get yourself centered, clear your mind, and allow tones to come through you. The ancient mystery schools worked with sound in this manner, and it is a very powerful technique when done in a group. Many years down the road, but within this decade, you will amaze yourselves with what you will perceive as the results of your cooperative sounds or symphonies of consciousness playing themselves. When you tone together, you will be shown what you can do without even knowing you can do it. You will learn how to use and cultivate this kind of energy to make your own Ankh. When you buy a child clay, the child at first doesn't know how to make many things. So you make little balls and spaghettis for the child so he or she can see the potential within the clay. Then the child, after playing with the clay for a while, discovers his or her own sense of creativity with form. The creative form of sound is shown to you first as a potential. You are led and orchestrated through the use of this sound. Eventually, you will discover on your own some of the things that can be achieved. Then you will become more daring, and you will learn what sound can create. Energies are introduced this way to make certain there is not a misuse of them and that you don't overextend yourself or overdo out of enthusiasm. You will go very far with your use of sound after working with it for a while. It is like a powerful tool being given to an infant. Without proper awareness, you could do things and not realize the ramifications of what you are doing. Think about what sound does in stadiums and auditoriums. The cheering or booing of a crowd creates an ambience. When groups of you make sound together, you create an ambience for yourselves. You allow certain energies to play the instrument of your bodies. You let go of preconceived ideas and allow different melodies and energies to use your physical bodies as opportunities to represent themselves on the planet. In actuality, what you experience is the life force of energies that you allow to express through your own selves. You become channels, just as your vehicle allows us to come into your reality through her body. You allow a vibration to come onto the planet in its full glory through your bodies and your joint cooperation. You birth something, you create an opportunity, and an energy takes advantage of that opportunity. Emotion because it brings feeling and connects you to feeling, allows you to recognize different states of consciousness. The logical mind does not allow you to recognize states of consciousness because it holds onto its own identity. It is locked into the boundary of ego and does not want to recognize other areas. Feeling, however, always acknowledges other areas because feeling discerns the difference. You can read the signs and the definitions by the energy that you call feeling. It is, in actuality, a vibration. Sound brings about states of emotional feeling. When you create harmonics of sound, it reminds your body of something. It reminds your body of light, of deep cosmic love, and of other worlds. Your body comes into joy and sometimes overwhelmingly into sadness. It seeks and accesses a frequency that it has been longing for, which the sound has reminded it of. If you allow sound to play your body, you discover a frequency that you have sought. This frequency is connected to the evolution of the helixes within your body. Sound is a vehicle or conduit to connect you to the higher chakras outside of your body, because you do not have a way of accessing them logically. You must access all frequencies and chakra centers by feeling, and sound will connect you with feeling, which will allow you to understand the information. If sound could be pictured, some of you would become entranced with watching it. There are realities where sound does picture itself. You feel the movement and language of sound when you wave your body or move your hands. You experience the richness of this form of communication and how multidimensional all things are by feeling sound express itself. It has its own language, and it has a form. Sound carries a certain frequency, and the body recognizes the frequency. The body is keyed to respond to the acceptability of the frequency. The great master musicians such as Beethoven and Mozart were coded to bring in information of a stable nature, for they received the harmonics of sound at the time when there was great darkness over the planet, in order to keep a certain remembrance open in the minds of the human race. Lower vibratory rates of sound were translated into the minds of these masters. Sound is going to evolve. Now human beings can become the instruments for sound through toning. Human beings become a flute, a piano, a snare, a harp, an oboe, a tuba. They allow energies to use their physical bodies to make a variety of sounds that they do not direct or attempt to control the range of. Spirit plays, and human beings simply observe the attendance of the symphony, that they are all the others that they and all the others are performing. It is quite profound. These harmonics can be utilized in incredible ways, for harmonics can evolve many things. One of the things that is important for utilizing these harmonics is to be very silent once the harmonics are complete. Their harmonics alter something. They open the door. Certain combinations of sounds played through the human body unlock information and frequencies of intelligence. Being silent for a long period after the harmonics allows human beings to use their bodies as devices to receive and absorb the frequencies, and to use the vehicle of breathing to take them into an ecstatic state. When you tone with others, you have access to the group mind that you do not have prior to making the sound. It is a gigantic leap in consciousness. The key word is harmony. When the entire planet can create a harmonic of thought, the entire planet will change. That is what you are working for. You are going to broadcast a frequency, and that sound is going to travel. It is going to become a desperate aching and longing for the return to harmonics within the human race, a return to the power of the group mind and the simultaneous empowerment of the individual. What you intend to do with sound is of the utmost importance. If you are not clear about your intentions, sound can have a way of enveloping upon itself and growing beyond its original capacity. It doubles and quadruples itself with its own impact. It is very important for you to have a clear intention of what you plan on doing with the sound. That is number one. Number two is that sound stirs energy up. It creates a standing columnar wave, building frequency upon frequency. This energy can then be directed at or toward anything. You have heard about those who marched around the city of Jericho. They marched for days around Jericho and created a standing wave. The wave eventually built up so much energy that the city walls imploded. Native dance, rattling, shaking, and moving in circles creates the energy of this wave. When you make sound in a circle or in the circumference of the pillar of light, you create a column that is capable of doing many more things than you ever realized. It is capable of creating explosions and of destroying and creating many realities. Among the war-oriented tribes, the war whoop was used by those who went into battle. The unified and intended invocation was to ask the non-physical forces to accompany them. The warriors would use this kind of sound to combat their opponents by allowing energy to move through a portal and create a standing column. When you hear a sound like a war whoop, you remember uncomfortable ways that the sound has been utilized because it is very powerful. It makes others uncomfortable because it reminds them of the responsibility of sound. Some of you are petrified of sound. You are petrified of the sound of your own voice speaking out and stating with clarity what you prefer. You have cellular memory of what sound can achieve, and the impact or capability of what you can do with it is to some of you rather devastating. Sound can link you to places where your intellect cannot. Your intellect strives to categorize, but you cannot categorize sound. You must simply experience it. Misuse happens through intent. You can discover the power of sound and then misuse it to manipulate others. What do you experience when you live in a city and hear sirens? Fear? That is a misuse of sound, and it is altering your frequencies. It is a very base way to do so. Those who make the sound know the results of it on the human psyche. It is jarring and disturbing and keeps you from placing your attention somewhere else. That frequency is like a lock. It is hypnotizing, and it captures your consciousness and your intelligence. It is as if your intelligence cannot focus any other place. It is almost like being in a prison, because the sound imprisons your awareness so that it becomes addicted to or locked into a vibratory rate and does not seek anything else. It becomes subdued. Think also of your televisions or the sound coming from other electronic devices. It is always upsetting to look at the different forms of frequency control and to see how powerful allies such as sound are used to control you. It creates a great deal of anger, unrest, havoc, and excitement in many human beings when they hear about and uncover devices used to manipulate consciousness. We share these things with you for many reasons. The ultimate purpose is to bring you to greater self-empowerment. You must realize that you are not powerless in any situation, and that your mind is the ultimate of your creativity. Your mind and your thoughts design your experience, no matter what method of technology is being used. Those who act in their own reality with impeccable guidance, commitment to harmony, and commitment to light align themselves with their dimensional counterparts who are doing the same. You make bridges of light and hold light-encoded filaments as pillars and open portals. Those who are rewarded with the understanding that they are called to use sound as part of their work, or who recognize that call and respond to it, will evolve at a rapid pace. Those of you evolving at this rate will be called one day to represent many people, to represent world gatherings of consciousness, and to change the available frequency with your sound. The planet is looking for a balance in the self. Since the self is a composite of all things, it is a harmonic that balances all of your extraterrestrial selves, multi-dimensional selves, and male and female selves. love and light. Until next time, my beautiful friends and family.